Hey, how's it going? My name's Diane, and this is How to Train Your Caterpillar, a spiritual life coaching channel. And you are very welcome here. Thank you for checking out the video and the channel. I appreciate it very much. And if you feel called to like and subscribe for me at all, I would appreciate that very much as well. So this video is going to be about the guilt association with spirituality and having money. Particularly here, I'm thinking about people that have like a spiritual business and having money. There's this guilt that's tied in with that, and this idea that society still seems to have that spiritual people shouldn't have money. Because I think when people, think about spirituality, they think about like a monk, sitting on top of like a mountain, renouncing all worldly possessions and blah, blah, blah. This is an outdated concept, frankly. Because the thing is, the monk isn't really teaching anyone anything. So, I mean, the monk thing is like quite insular, not to go in a bit of a rant here, but it's quite insular. Like that's a particular choice that people have taken that not many other people are going to take, and the teachings of the monks, like I said, they're quite insular. I mean, now you're starting to get people that are coming online, monks and things that are sharing what they have to say, but the whole point of people having a spiritual business, for one thing, a lot of the time it is your calling. Like if you end up doing something like that, it is your calling. I mean, some people kind of stumble into it for the money. You do obviously, like in any kind of industry, you get like the vipers that are just in it for money and they're dishonest and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like those are in the minority, in spiritual businesses. Because that's, like I was saying, that's the whole point of like a spiritual business, is that you get really good at what you do. You can reach a bigger audience because you're doing it as your day job. And you're helping to heal people of whatever it is, helping to give them guidance or helping them guide them what they need to work on. You're helping to heal chakras or emotional wounds or, like contacting people that have passed on so they can have peace. Mediums or people, they're put here to often help introduce people that have never been involved in spirituality into spirituality, right? Because often when you go and see a medium for the first time, you're like, how did you know that? There's no way that you could have known that, and that's how a lot of people become involved in spirituality. So if it's your calling, like spirit's not stupid. Like they know how the world works. Like we're not living in the 5D yet. We still have this money thing. Like you need money to live, unless of course you've, married a millionaire or something and you're like, oh, I don't need to work anymore. I'm just going to do things for free. Would that everybody could do that, right? But most people have a mortgage and a family to support, or like, you have to live, right? Until you get to the 5D. And like I was saying, the whole point of a spiritual business is you reach a lot of people, you help them raise their vibration, you help heal them, you help give them guidance, and that helps to heal the planet as a whole and get us closer to the 5D, And in turn, those people that you heal, often those people will, not all of them, but a lot of the time they end up starting their own spiritual practice because they've been, guided towards you by spirit or whatever happens, right? At the very least, they might even like adopt a spiritual practice or, they become more healed and therefore the vibration raises. So spirit, they don't want you to, not charge for your services. And you have to charge a decent amount is the thing, because this is something that I learned during, like the years that I've been doing the tarot, which is quite a few now. If you can charge a lower amount for what you're doing, but you won't be able to give the person as much as if you charged more. You see what I mean? Because, when I first started reading the tarot, I was like very shy and I couldn't do like live tarot readings and things like that because I was too socially anxious and too shy. So I used to just do video recordings and I would charge like £20 because right back at the start I was still teaching as well, so I was kind of doing it as like a side thing. So I was only charging like £20 or something like that. And FYI, people still stole from me. I can't tell you how many people stole from me. Like that's why I had to end up charging first, because I never used to do that. But you know, just like any other business, you get dishonest people that are entitled and they feel like they should get stuff for free. I actually get people emailing me being like, can I have a free reading? It's like, no. Would you walk into Tesco's, pick up a bag of stuff, take it to the till and be like, I want that for free? Just be like, okay, psycho, like out the door. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, I never used to charge very much, but the thing is, because it was a lower price, like I would have to stick to a time frame, you know, and I couldn't go very deeply into the messages. Like now, the last round of readings that I did, I charged quite a bit more, but these are like live readings that I was doing. And, you know, I would say that they were an hour, but we would often end up on the phone or like on Skype or whatever for like a couple of hours or something, because stuff just comes up. And there's no point in you just ending the reading after 20 minutes because that's how much the client paid for or whatever. You know what I mean? So the more that you're charging, like the more, you know, you're able to give to the person, and it actually works out better because you also have to make sure that you have enough to live. Like Spirit doesn't want you living in poverty. And bear in mind, because this is something that I have been told, you know, you may have been a very spiritual person in a past life and taken a vow of poverty, but in this life, maybe you're meant to have abundance. So, you know, if you're not charging, yeah, see, the fridge agrees. So if you're not charging the right amount, like you're going to be too tired to carry it on. You're going to have to squeeze in more clients during the day, you know, and you may not ever have the abundance that Spirit wants you to have. Because there's no guilt in having money, you know. Like there's definitely a connection in the spiritual circles of like, oh, it's bad to have money, you know. It's like selfish and bad to have money. Why? Like think about the amount of people that you can help with that money. Like if you manage to make a decent amount of money for yourself, you could pay off your house. You could even buy a bigger house with like a little plot of land. You could plant your own veg, you could keep chickens, you could keep a cow. If you don't know how to do any of that stuff, you could hire someone to come in and look after it for you and pay them a good wage. You know, you could go to farmers markets and buy directly from the farmers. You can invest in small businesses. You know, you can do whatever you want, right? And if people are meant to have the service that you're providing, Spirit will find a way to give it to them, is something else that I've noticed. Like, this sounds like a harsh thing to say, but it's not your responsibility that people can't afford the service that you're providing. You know, I spent quite a lot of my life with no money, you know what I mean? But I never would have asked for anything for free. Like I never would have guilted someone that was running a business. You know, I never would have like sent them a message and be like, oh my God, like I think that's so bad that you're charging. I think this should be free because like I'm entitled and stuff. Like, okay, psycho. So what you need to do is you need to go away and you need to get money so you can pay for this service. That's how that works. Get yourself on your true path. Then you'll have money. That's how it works. When you get yourself on your true path, that's when the abundance starts to come in. Some people will never do that and they will just spend their time whining at you and trying to make you feel guilty. Like I get this all the time on the Tarot channel, like people making me feel guilty for putting adverts on the videos, or like for doing extended readings, which are a very reasonable price, by the way, I think. There's the exchange rate, of course, like it's obviously like it ends up being higher if you pay in dollars, but that's, again, I have to think about the things that I'm paying for in the UK, you know what I mean? So, but you know, if I couldn't afford something, like I would never leave a comment and be like, oh my God, like I think this should be free. Like, I think that's so bad that you're charging. Like, I'd be like, you know, good. I'm glad that you're charging. Like I'm happy that people in the spiritual industry have money. Like, go for yourself. I'll go away and I'll save up and I'll do more hours, or I'll like cut something out of my budget and I'll save up for this and then I'll get one, right? Sounds harsh, but that's the way the world works, you know? You're not currently living in the 5D. Like, you need to have money and you need to charge a decent amount for that, you know? Like, honestly, I feel like some people, like most people on the Tarot channel are wonderful. You know, people like are so generous with their comments and like their support and like excuse me, some people leave tips and stuff. It's very, very generous. But you're always going to get that type of person that like tries to make you feel guilty. No matter how much you give, it won't be enough for some people because they feel like they should have it for free, or they're just going to try it on the off chance. You know what I mean? So you need to learn to ignore that kind of person, because Spirit wants you to have abundance. Because the thing is, isn't it better for you to work it? Because there is abundance everywhere. There is enough abundance on earth for everyone to have money. Some people just need to work through the mindset that money is hard to come by, though. This is something that I've had to work through. And it's not easy, but you have to do the work. That's part of the journey. That's part of the fun, right? Because I don't come from like, you know, I come from pretty humble backgrounds. So I've always had to work really hard. Like I've always had a job. I've had a job since I was like 14 years old. Like all sorts of different jobs, you know, working outside, like cleaning, teaching, you know, I've done everything. And I've never really been stuck up about it. I'm a little more stuck up these days because I'm older. I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to work outside. It's cold. Where was I going with that? I'm a little spacey today because there's a full moon in a couple of days. Where was I going with that? Or there might be a bit of a jump here while I have to pause and think about what I was doing. Yeah, there's going to be a pause there because my brain went totally blank. Usually when that happens, that Spirit being like, get back on track, bitch. Yeah, so that's something that I had to work through, like this blocks that I had around abundance and money being hard to come by. And, you know, you have to work really, really hard for money, but there's enough abundance to go around for everyone. So isn't it better that you work out how to have money and then tell everyone, right? Tell everyone else how you did it, and then everybody can have money. Not just like, you know, the big evil CEOs of big evil corporations. You know, like who is it that should have the money then? Like if not, you know, people like yourself, like spiritual people that have good intentions for the planet, you know, like they want to help people heal or raise the vibration of the planet, or, you know, care for other people, this kind of thing. Like if it's not people like that that should have the money, then who should have the money? Like I was saying, you know, the CEOs of the big evil corporations that like set the oceans on fire and chase indigenous tribes out of their homeland that they've been in for thousands of years, or chop down the rainforest, or poison the food that the children are eating. You know, your children poison the food that we're eating. Is it them? Should they have the money? Is it the vapid, vacuous, conceited actors of Hollywood that should have the money? Or, you know, people like P. Diddy, are they the ones that should have the money? Like the evil pederasts like that, are they the ones that should have the money? Or maybe it's the bankers that you think should have the money because they're such great people. The politicians, like the corrupt politicians that do nothing but lie and cheat and steal and are also heavily associated with pedophilia, by the way, just throwing that out there. Not all the politicians, obviously, but a number of them, you know, just throwing that out there. Because I gotta tell you, these are the people that have been in charge of the money for a long time now, and the world's kind of in the toilet, right? So don't you think it would be better if people like yourself had more money so that you can do good things with the planet instead of what they've been doing, just running it into the ground, destroying things, you know, keeping people stuck in these shitty jobs that they hate? I mean, everybody's exhausted. You know, if everybody was like on their true path, and, you know, think about it. Like if you start a spiritual business and you do well, then eventually you can end up employing other people and paying them well, and they'll, you know, be a great place to work, right? Or like I said, you could have your mini farm. Because I would love to have something like that, but I know literally nothing about planting vegetables and like, I would go out and fanny around with the chickens and stuff, but I don't know how to look after them. I imagine I would learn, but I would need someone to help me. Like I'd need a land manager to help me, right? So I could employ him or her and give them like a good salary, and then they could employ more people, and, you know, it'd be good, right? Things like that. So yeah, that's the video. thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it useful. I just wanted to make it because it's something like I had to push through myself over the last few years, having like a spiritual business. And it really doesn't help when you have people, you know, like people that want free stuff basically making you feel guilty, or, you know, maybe that's not where it's coming from. I don't know where some of them are coming from, but there is sometimes there's like a bit of a holier than thou thing as well, you know, like, you know, if it was me, I would never charge for things. You're like, okay, well, then maybe you should go and try it and see how that works. Because, you know, if you're doing it as a side hustle, okay, so you're going out to your main job during the day and then you're doing the spiritual business as a side hustle at night and you're not charging for it. That's what you're saying? Okay. Good luck trying to do that if you have some kind of job where you're like working at Amazon or something and you're doing like a 10 till, what was the shift we used to do? 6 in the morning till 6 at night, something like that, or 7. Good luck doing a day like that and then coming home and having the energy to do tarot readings at nighttime. Good luck doing that. It's okay, you know, if you're having to deal with, you know, if you have a spiritual business and you're having to deal with that type of energy during the day, very likely you're an empath if you're like, you know, spiritual in that way, or you're sensitive to energy. So you're exhausted because you're sucking up other people's energy all day. Often there's like negativity because people are very unhappy. You know, people are tired, they don't have much money, they're stressed, you know, things like that. It's often not, you know, fun to have this type of job that you don't even like during the day. And then you're supposed to be tapping into spiritual energy at nighttime. Like, tapping into spiritual energy and doing healing work is tiring. You know, you're much better off if you can do it as your actual job, because then you have the time and the energy and the space to devote to it. And also, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, if you have a spiritual business, you should be constantly learning. You should be constantly looking to expand your knowledge of spirituality. You should be learning from other people. You should be reading books. You should, whatever it is that you're doing, you should be getting good at it. You should be practicing it, getting good at it. You should be able to incorporate like helpful information for people to heal. Right? Because like for the tarot, for example, is not just about predicting the future, it's about healing. That's how I like to use it. It's for healing, you know? So the more healing modalities that I become aware of, the more that I can help people, things like this, right? So if you do it as a full-time business and you're charging for it, then you're going to be much more in a place to do that, rather than half-assing it when you come home from a full-time job and you're really tired, you know, and people have sapped your energy all day, right? And you don't have time to meditate. You don't have time to read these books. You don't have time to, you know, do all the other stuff that you should be doing. But that's just my opinion. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for me. If you feel like doing that, I'd appreciate that very much too. And excuse me, many blessings, love and light as always. Take care.